Discourse Digital. Today we're going to take a look at adding an add to cart URL on your Odoo instance. It's a quick and easy increase in functionality and allows you to add products to your cart or to an existing or new cart from an external application, landing page, or external domain from that of your Odoo instance. Particularly, I use it to add to cart items in external apps. So we might have a configurator that was built in Angular that I can show you an example of that we'll see how it integrates with Odoo by this add to cart functionality. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to scaffold out a new add-on. And instead of all the files that would be in a normal add-on, we're just going to have a controller folders. So this is a good example of the simplest type of folder, simplest type of add-on that you can add to Odoo to increase functionality. It allows us to add powerful functionality with very little code and a nice consistent framework. So the first thing we're going to do is add a controllers folder. And outside of that controllers folder, we're going to add our Python initialization files and our manifest. Both these files are needed in the top level directory. And inside of our controllers folder, we'll have a main.py, though it can be named anything, I believe. And then we will have our Python initialization file again, 2_.py. And it looks like I didn't save the other file. So, all right. So in our main.py file, this is where we can import our modules from Odoo and define our route, which we do with an HTTP decorator on the class that we're going to set up. So let's get some of the standard imports out of the way. So I'm using GitHub Copilot. There's some auto-completion that's pretty useful. Sometimes it gets it wrong, and I think we'll see an example of that a little later down here. So I do want to import requests from the HTTP module. Let's go ahead and do that. And instead of the website controllers, I'm going to use the website sale module and extend that. So what we'll be doing is importing the main control module or main controllers from website sale, which gives us access to inherit those methods and properties. And in the next line, we'll define the function or the class that our route is going to be defined by. And we are going to inherit the website sale module. So on the next, we're going to define our decorator, which is going to be an HTTP route. And the rest of that is correct. So we can go ahead and just push tab and we get our route definition. Now this route definition goes on top of the function definition, which this is going to be a little bit different than what I would do. So I'm going to add to cart. And it's going to inherit itself. It's going to take the product ID and it's going to take the quantity. And we need the KW args. Inherit the rest of the arguments. And then we can just parse our... So this should be easy. And our quantity would not be a float, it would be an integer. We're only dealing with whole numbers on product IDs and on quantities, so there's no reason it should have been a float. And now get the sale order. So this is calling the correct. So we're going to call the request from the HTTP module. Inside that request, we have the website inheritance from the website sale module. And inside that website module, we have the sale get order method. And basically, it's going to create a cart. If one doesn't exist, the force create says that if the cart doesn't exist, it's going to create a new one. So then all we have to do is add the product to the sale order, and it's going to call the cart update method, which is correct. The product ID should be set to the product ID, the add quantity to the quantity, and that is complete right there. Now, what we do want to do is we want to return a redirect to the cart page. And that is correct as well. So we have this powerful little module that was basically built by GitHub Copilot with a little navigation or a little editing from yours truly. But this is how powerful GPT-4 and these AI code assistants have become. They can basically help you spit out something very, very, very quickly and highly accurately now. So this is a very simple piece of code. We're going to fill out the rest of our files. We'll just go into the initialization in the controllers, and we'll say from that import main. Oops. Save that. Make sure this is saved. And from import controllers. So we want to make sure that in the initialization in the controller folder, we import the Python file that we declared our roots on. If there was any additional Python files, we would declare them as well. Inside the init.py file and the main root directory, we can go ahead and import the import from main through the controllers folder. And finally, in the manifest, we are going to do the basic details needed, which is a name, is a version, is a category, a summary, I don't want description, but I'll let it do it. And no, you know what? Next is depends. And this depends on the website sale module, which it's already figured out, which is pretty nice. The data directory is going to be empty. We don't have any views or external data that we need to load for dummy data. And the final is going to be installable, and that's going to be true. So let's go ahead and name our module, and we'll say add to cart by URL. And that's fine, that's fine, that's all good. So now we have our completed module. I can go ahead and reveal this in File Explorer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to zip it. So now I have this add to cart URL.zip. And since I'm using Bitnami on Google Cloud, I'll show you how to go ahead and add this add-on to your instance. So I'm using Google Cloud to host my Bitnami installation of Odoo. And basically I have my working ones that I use for demo purposes here. And I'm going to go into this and just show you how it looks. So this is our detail screen, and we have our IP address here. And we have our SSH keys, which if you saw some other videos are real important. I do not leave these instances up and running, nor do I keep them around for very much longer after I use them. So if you see anything that looks like it, you could go and hack it, be my guest, because this won't be there when you get back. So thank you. So we're going to SSH into this module, or into this instance, I'm sorry. I am the Google Compute Cloud. Once we exchange our keys and authorize our login, we'll cd or change directory into the add-ons folder and upload our zip file, which we just created previously. I like to work on live servers and do my debugging on replicated servers so that I'm working in the exact production environment that one of my clients or one of my own companies is on. I do develop locally, but in most of my videos you won't see me doing that because I want to show you exactly what's being done and the nuances of administration in the back end. So now that we have our SSH terminal, I'm going to go up at the top and upload file, and I'll choose our add to cart URL. Here it is. So that's uploaded. If I list out the directory, I see that the add to cart zip is there, and I am going to move that to the add-ons folder. So I'll just do that by then I'll change directory into the Odoo Addons folder. Again, if you're working with a Bitnami deployment on Google Cloud, this should be exactly the same. And there's our add to cart URL.zip. So I'll unzip it using the super user. All right, so now there are some modifications to the ownership of these files that I need to change for Bitnami in particular. So one of those is change ownership to the Bitnami Odoo daemon, and I just need the folder name. And the second one, there's two of these, is going to be this. All right, so now we can go back into our instance of Odoo. So here is my demo machine. I'm in the back end, and I am going to make sure that I am in developer mode. So I am already in developer mode, so I'll leave it to that. So once you're in developer mode, we want to go back to apps, and we want to go update apps list. And once we update that, I remove the filter for showing only apps. And now we have this add to cart by URL module, and we can go and install. All right, that's great. So now there's a add to cart functionality by URL added to Odoo. So let's go inside of our website module and go into our product variants. So recognize that these products are product templates called in the product template model up here, and under variants, which for every product template, it creates a product variant. Even if there's only one or there's no additional configurable attributes on that product, it still creates a product template, and that product template creates a product model listing document. So this product model has an ID of 179. So if I was passing this in an external website and I wanted to add this product to the cart, I could call 179 in the URL. So what will that look like? So just on another note, you'll see me use these Odoo instances a lot. I have several companies that I run them off of, and a few of them are strictly done so that I can do development. And one of them is my Pot and Porn Stars apparel. So here you'll find pop art and pop art apparel. I design and made everything here. So I hope you go and check it out. Support an independent artist like yours truly. Yep, so that's it. So inside of our product, we're going to take 179 and we're going to go to our instance URL, and we created this as, what was the URL that we have? We go into our main PY, we have this URL here. So that, and then we'll add the parameters. There's the product ID equals 179. And the quantity equals, let's say we'll add 2 of them. So if I push this button, what should happen is I should get a basic bananas lady slub here. This product here should be added to the cart. So our URL has this syntax, and this is the route that we define. We're adding the product ID and we're adding the quantity. So I already added 2 of these to the cart. Let's add 10 more. And you'll see that we get 12 for total. So let's go back and look at our code for a second and make some just notes here. So in the sale order cart update method, you're using the add quantity property, which means we're going to be adding or subtracting that product ID from the user's cart. So we could also add set quantity, and we could set that to 0. Now every time that you go and you add a product to the cart, it will add a different sale order line item and that quantity to that sale order line item, even if it's the same product ID. So that can be useful for different kinds of business cases. I have a client that does a lot of wholesale. They might need something where they can add line items in quantities that might be for different sections of a project. Or they might want to be able to do this so they can get quotes. Being able to add quantity per line item, even of the same item, saying, okay, I get, if I order 5 of these, it's one price. If I order 500,000 of these, what price can you give me? And in Odoo, you can manage that through the quote and sales order process. But for here, what we're doing is we're using the add quantity property to add or subtract if the quantity is negative from the cart. So this is a very, very simple example of increasing the adding the functionality of Odoo. It's one of my favorite examples because it's a very useful thing to do, and it allows you to have external applications interact with the Odoo system smoothly and almost seamlessly. And if I can take you back to my Pot and Porn Stars apparel for a second, you'll see that this is actually used in my graphic apparel app. So if you go and you create a, let's go and create a shirt here. So in my graphic apparel app, this is all art that I've created. And you can pick a collection and then pick a variation in that collection and then apply it to any of the shirts or sweatshirts that I've chosen out here. And I've chosen mostly organic stuff. I'm actually wearing it right now with my Discourse Digital logo. And so if I go and I select another t-shirt here, you'll see I get this preview, and now I can just go. Since this app actually houses hundreds of thousands, almost 1 million SKUs currently, it would be very difficult to put that in some ways like Odoo inside of Odoo system and not have to increase server resources or increase the cost of management, really. This gives me an easy way to do this without the overhead associated with storing a lot of products. So you can see as soon as I push the button to go and build it, it went and built this product. This product did not exist before. And then it used the add to cart URL to add it to the product, the customer's cart. So even though it didn't exist inside of Odoo before, coupled with a Google Cloud function, a serverless function which creates the product first, the add to cart URL now allows me to take the ID of the generated product and add it to the cart very easily. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you see how powerful GitHub Copilot can be when working with Odoo now. I also wanted to hopefully showcase how to increase functionality in Odoo very easily. If you're working in the community version, if you're working in the enterprise version, you'll have to deal with the packages available there and the development team for the package manager. But when you're dealing with open source, this is a great thing. We can build it to however we want it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. In the notes, you'll see the repository to download this from GitHub. And I'll probably even put it in the store, in the Odoo App Store at one point if I get some time. So comment below, subscribe. Thank you for viewing, and I hope to see you again soon.